All right, hello. Today I want to make this video. This is going to be extremely important. So what makes a dream team in the whole agency space? This is how I've operated my agents in the past. It's how I operate my current business model, and it's how I've been telling all of my clients to do so at the same time, right? The way I view it when it comes to scaling a company is that you have three main pillars, okay? You have acquisition. So acquiring meetings, getting new clients, basically new eyeballs on your offer, on your business. Sales, which is closers, people to take the calls and actually convert them into paying clients. So we take the eyeballs and get them to pay us. And then from here, fulfillment. All right, so someone to actually fulfill on the product or the service that we sold them. Okay, so very simple. That's the way I've always sort of easily explained people how you should view your business as a whole. So you have three main pillars. And each pillar has to be taken care of by someone eventually in the future in order to remove yourself from the business. Okay? So start off with the first one. Start off with the first one. Like the main question probably you guys will have is, which one do I do at first? Do I outsource acquisition, sales, or fulfillment? All right? I'm going to go one by one, and then I'm going to tell you exactly what I would do, because it depends who you are as a person and at what stage you're at with the business. Okay? So acquisition is very simple. How are you getting new prospects, new people to get to know you, your personal brand, and your offer? Typically, we'll have two main methods. Right? Either you're going to do it through appointment setting. So this can be cold DMs. So people just reaching out in Facebook groups and stuff like that, sending your offer, pitching it to potential people. So like a cold audience. And then afterwards you have media buying, which is, running Facebook ads or whatever type of ads to get people to buy your offer. Okay, so if you're in this program, you do have this aspect right here. So you're running Facebook ads for your own agency and you're getting clients. Now, in a perfect world, you would do both at the same time. That's what I do. All right. So I have someone taking care of my ads, right? Which is the media buyer. So you need one media buyer to run the ads for your company. Every media buyer will need an appointment setter, right? Because he can set up the ads, the automations and all of those things. But once the leads, they start opting in, and let's say if they don't book a call with you right away, we need an appointment setter. We need someone to reach out and text them and try to get them to book a call. And obviously, we're not going to make the media buyer do that. We need an appointment setter. Right? And then lastly, you need a triage caller. This is especially true if you're doing local legion, so you're working with local brick and mortar businesses. If someone opts in and you send them a text message and they don't answer, they're still semi-interested. You don't want to end the conversation there. So what I recommend is to have someone on standby that can call them and have that conversation with them. Okay? So those are the three hires I would do if I was running Facebook ads or whatever type of paid ads to acquire clients for my business. Okay, and it's how I have it set up for myself. So these are the three hires. From here, you have acquisition through cold DMs and stuff like that. Okay, so you will mostly have a team of appointment setters. So they're going to text, have a conversation with the people. And also it could be VSL or Loom creators. You can call them Loom creators instead. I'm actually going to write Loom. So people who will film Loom videos explaining what the process is and just directly pitching those prospects what your offer is. Okay, I'm not going to go in depth on how to actually do it. We have other sections for it, but if you're in the space, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Now, the goal here is to sort of have one head person for each department, each pillar in your company. So ideally, you would have one head person for acquisition. The way I have it set up, you could technically have one person. Actually, I think that's a good idea. Have one person take care of the head appointment setter as well as the head media buyer. For me, I'm sort of that person right now, and I have it divided into two. All right, I don't see a problem with just having one head appointment setter as well as one head media buyer to take care of the sub pillars within this pillar right here. Okay, so in a perfect world, your first hire when it comes to appointment setting is not going to be an appointment setter or a Loom creator. Your first hire is going to be your head appointment setter. And this person's role in the company is not just to appointment set for you, but to build you this pillar. So they need to take over the next steps, which is hiring appointment setters, training them, placing them, making sure they're getting results, as well as the Loom creators if that's what you're doing as a strategy. Okay, so the goal is not to, that's the biggest mistake I see people doing, is that they go in terms of acquisition, and the first thing they do is they hire this appointment setter. And they train the appointment setter and they sort of micromanage them and they make sure they hit the numbers and the results and everything. Okay, I think that's a big mistake. I think you should always aim to hire decision makers. Those should be your first hires. People that can make decisions on your behalf. Obviously, you stay in contact with them, you teach them the basics, but this is a higher leveraged activity because I can train one person and then forever have this person train all future appointment setters. Versus if me, I only hire one appointment setter and I train them, if I hire a new one, I have to train him as well, and another one, and it just doesn't stop. So why do that when you can hire someone to do that for you, which is the training and the implementation and everything? Okay, so you'll see this is like a common theme in the whole business. I always hire like head decision makers for each pillar. So for acquisition, I have my head appointment setter. Now, when it comes to acquisition for paid ads, you don't really need a team. The way I have it set up is I have my main media buyer. So he takes care of my ads for my company. And then we leverage my head appointment setter and we use the setters that he trains to place them with my media buyer for the Facebook ads. Okay, and my head appointment setter also takes care of the triage callers because they're almost pretty much the same thing. It's just instead of DMs, they call them. So it's relatively the same. Okay, so in reality, you need two head people, your head appointment setter and your head media buyer. You don't need both at the same time. One or the other can do, but you need these two people if you really want to maximize the amount of eyeballs and leads you get into your business. Okay, so this is acquisition. Now, the next pillar in your company is sales. This is pretty simple and straightforward. You have sales, you have your head closer, and then you have sub closers. So same thing. Why am I just going to hire a closer when I can hire my head closer? And a head closer is not just someone who takes the calls for you, right? A head closer will come to you and say, Oliver, our follow-up system after the calls are not good. I think we should set it up this way. We should have follow-up emails. In the follow-up emails, we should include testimonials, case study breakdowns, educational videos, and stuff like that. Okay, they should help you sort of automate and paint the big picture of how you're going to manage the CRM, the leads, the no-shows. He's going to evaluate the show-up rate. So he's going to say like, oh my God, like we only have a 40% show-up rate. Why is that happening? Maybe he has to communicate with the head appointment setter and see what's happening in the conversations. Why are those people not showing up? Okay, so that's what a head closer does. He might close as well at the same time, ideally, but also take care of those types of things. And the other thing that he's going to take care of, which is the most important, is hiring more closers if needed. Now, what's good about head sales is that you don't need an army of closers. Like typically with one closer, you can go up to 200K per month, even more, depending on your price point. But like maybe two closers max, like the head closer plus a sub closer within, that like one that works for him, is more than enough to scale a business to 500,000, even $1 million per year. Okay. But yeah, again, don't hire a closer. You want to hire a decision maker, someone that can take care of the sales department of your business. Okay. And then at the end, probably you will need an onboarding specialist. This is like really extra. This is like if you have extra money to save, to spare, and you're not really like your closer is busy and you don't want him doing these things. You can have someone like a VA that takes care of onboarding. So sending the welcome email, give them access to the Discord group, sending the invoice, sending the contracts, creating a new folder for that client, like stuff like that. All of these things can be automated as well, but there's like small things here and there that needs to be done manually. And it could be good to have just a VA on standby, take care of that and help the closers with those things. Okay, so that's pillared sales. And then lastly, you have fulfillment. Fulfillment is probably the most complex one when it comes to hiring people. Okay, it's hard for me in the video to tell you guys who to hire exactly because it depends on what service you're offering. For some of you guys, this will be different. The way I have it set up in my company is I have a head success coach. So this, in your case, it would be Alexei. He's your head success coach. He's like the main person you guys are talking with. He's like your go-to person if you have general questions. And his goal is to just ensure your success. Okay, so he talks with whoever needs to be sort of in communication with you. He fixes whatever needs to be fixed. He sends you anything. He communicates with the team regarding your account. He's a success coach. He wants you to succeed. Okay, so obviously you have, again, a decision maker. You have your head coach, and then within that you have success coaches. Okay, that assist them with small things. For me, the way I have it set up is that my head success coach takes care of the entire fulfillment for me. I'd say 90%. He just overviews the entire thing and just makes sure everything goes smoothly. Okay? And then from there, again, it depends on what your service is. So in my case, for most of you guys, you're doing local lead gen, so you're running ads for your clients. So the way I have it is that I have my head media buyer, which is Ruben. And then from there, we have sub media buyers. All right, so because once you set up the ads and everything, it's not too difficult to maintain and run. You still need someone kind of looking at them, but it's not that like complicated to do. So it's easy for us to just hire some media buyer and have them just monitor the ads, even the VA monitor the ads, just make sure everything goes smoothly. Okay, and we also have a systems integrator. So someone to create the funnels, the go high level landing page, the follow-up sequence, you can be the creatives, all of these things, the copy, sort of like just I could break this down even further, but sort of one person to help with like the technical side of things for your clients. Okay, and then from there, you might have other head sort of people depending on your offer. So for in our case, we could have like a head closer to close the deals for you guys. So he would take care of the entire closing department within my fulfillment and hire more closers for my clients. Okay, so it kind of always breaks down at the end. Okay, and this, again, I would redo this chart specifically for your service and see what you guys need as people. You don't need to hire them all from day one. Like probably you guys will take care of most of it at the beginning, but over time as you grow, you want to focus on hiring those head people. The head success coach, the head closer, and the head appointment setter. Because those are the people that can afterwards fully focus on that pillar and focus on growing that pillar. Okay, so I hope this was clear. At the beginning of the video, I said I would go over sort of who to hire first and all of those things. It depends on your skill, okay? If you're good at closing, then obviously you don't want to outsource closing right away. That wouldn't be the first thing you would do. Okay, for me, like I used to work in sales before and everything. So for me, taking the calls is something that I wanted to keep doing and outsource the very last minute. That would be the last thing I outsource. Okay, so I didn't do it. However, if you see that you're not good at closing and you're struggling, it stresses you out, you don't have the time, then hire a closer. And what's fun about closers is that they're commission based. All right, that's about 10 to 15% of the closed deals. Okay, so it doesn't actually cost you anything upfront. It just you pay them from the revenue you generate from closing a deal. Now, you cannot hire a full-time closer if you don't have a fully packed calendar. Okay, that's an issue. If you don't have acquisition down, then you cannot hire a closer. So for me, my first hire when I started my business was my head appointment setter. And that's what really blew up my company. Because I took care of fulfillment on my own. I had one media buyer helping me. Sales, I was taking care of it, and acquisition was what took the most time and what would really be the most beneficial for my company. That's what really would have helped me scale like crazy. Okay, which is why I decided to hire that at first. Okay, so I hired my head appointment setter, and from there, I told him, I don't care what you do, I just want you to build me an army of people that gets me, upwards of 10 meetings per day. Do what you have to do. I'm not going to micromanage you. I will buy the softwares that you need, hire the people that you need, pay them, but just make it happen for me. And that is your sole focus as head appointment setter. Get me 10 appointments per day. And that's how I operate my business. It's almost as if you can view this sort of my head appointment setter as this being his own little business. It's like a business within a business. And I told him, I'm like, you do not worry about giving us too many calls that the closers can't handle or the fulfillment team can't fulfill for enough people. I'm like, that is not your problem. Your problem is getting me meetings. You give me 10, I want 20 the next month. You give me 20 meetings, I want 40 the next month. It does not matter what happens with the rest of the company. Okay, that's the way I operate, and that's why I think I was able to grow pretty quickly, is I did not set restrictions for my guys, my head people. Okay, so once your head appointment setters is there, give him a clear objective. How many appointments do you want? And tell him whatever you have to do to make it happen, you do it. Once you have that, the next thing I would outsource is fulfillment. Primarily a head success coach, someone that can do what you're doing right now to help your client succeed. So once a client pays and they join your company, you hire them, or that person will take over and they're going to do whatever needs to be done in terms of fulfillment. And again, same thing. You tell your head success coach, I want you to make sure that all of our clients they have amazing experiences and they see the success that they're supposed to see by working with us. Whoever you need to hire, probably a media buyer, a head closer, systems integrator, stuff like that. Whoever you need to hire to make sure my clients succeed and they get good results, make it happen. Okay, and also take care of this fulfillment department. So again, the head success coach can view this fulfillment department as being their own business. And then the last thing you want to do is outsource sales. For me, what I did is when I had way too many calls, like upwards of 8 per day, and I just physically could not handle more, and my calendar was like, people were booking like a week and a half later than the day they would book. So they would book and their call would be in 1 week and a half, which is way too long. You don't want them to wait more than 4 or 5 days. So that's when I realized, I'm like, all right, I need to sort of hire someone and have them replace me. Because I was on top of doing this, I was helping fulfillment, I was team calls and stuff like that. So I needed someone with just a clean calendar where all they could do is take calls for me. And that's when I hired my head closer as well. Okay. So if you view it this way, 3 pillars, I hire 1, 2, 3 people. Once I hire these 3 people, I am done with hiring. I have never hired anyone else. Now they have hired more people for me. With me personally, I have not done any more interviews, training, onboarding for new employees ever since I hired these 3 people. Because they take care of each of my departments for me. Okay? It's called a leverage activity. It is not leverageable if I hire 1 appointment setter at the time and I train them 1 by 1 every time we get a new person. Because we get a new setter, I spend more time training. If we get 20, I spend 20 more times spent training those people. Whereas if I spend just 1 hour training this guy, he will forever take care of all future appointment setters for me. And it's the same thing for everything. Okay, so that's for me what makes a dream team. You divide it into 3 pillars. Maybe you guys might have a 4th or more sub pillars within each of them, depending on your business model and what you're doing. But make sure to hire those head decision makers that can take care of all future sort of problems and hiring and all of those things. Past 3 hires, past your main pillars, you should not be hiring more people into your company and training more people. Okay, so I hope this was clear. In this module, like in a course, we're gonna break down a bit how to find those people, how to train them and everything, but this should be the overview picture of what I should do. So if I were you guys, I would make a list and ask yourself, what is the next hire I should make? And do not say things like, once I make 50K per month, then I'm gonna get my head appointment setter. I really believe that's a huge mistake. I work with many people who are stuck at like 10, 20K per month, and that is all the same sort of, they're all thinking that way, and it's not good. You have to view it the opposite way. I am stuck at 20K per month. Who do I need to hire in order to grow to 50K per month? Not once I reach 50K, I will hire that person. It's the opposite. Okay, and you might have to sacrifice lots of margins at the beginning in order to build this infrastructure, this team. But once you have it built out, your cost to fulfill will not go up depending on the amount of clients you get. Because all of these people are basically on a fixed salary, on a fixed payroll. So let's say all of this, like for me and my company, it cost me, I would say about 20,000 per month in payroll, which is a lot. So if I make 30K in 1 month, I only make 10K profit. But if I make 100K profit or revenue in a month, I still only pay them 20. I don't pay more money. It's always 20, no matter how much revenue I bring in the company. So at the beginning, it will hurt, but the more you grow, and you should grow a lot quicker because you have a solid team, especially the head appointment center, the more your profit margins will increase and you'll make more money. Okay, so I hope this was useful. And yeah.